The Dominic Carter Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And a bit later, we will continue my conversation with a retired police officer, a retired officer from West Orange, New Jersey Police Department. His name, John Mancini. He's now a businessman in Nutley, New Jersey. And he, like many other law enforcement officers around the country, find it utterly heartbreaking the way that the NYPD is being treated these days, and law enforcement officials for that matter. Dominic Carter here with you folks. The number to reach me right now, 800-848-9222. We see your calls coming in. What is a city to do when it's elected a socialist mayor? The city's first Muslim American mayor. Here are facts. Resentment is building. It's building. Not so much so because the mayor is Muslim American, so much so because of his wife's anti-Israel tweets. And it seems like the mayor is throwing his faith, or the faith issue, down our throats each and every day. And the fact of the matter is, folks, this cannot continue. 800-848-9222, beginning with your calls momentarily. But let's start this way. One man confronting Mandami, and I find this hard to believe here, but a man confronting the mayor, yelling and screaming at him, for not being anti-Israel enough. You heard what I said. This protester you're about to hear yelling and screaming at Mandami because he feels that the mayor is not being anti-Israel enough.
Politicians that constantly reaffirm Israel's right to exist, because people like me are constantly attacked by politicians for standing up for Palestine, and you are constantly defending the right for Israel to exist. My family is in Palestine right now, constantly under attack, and I'm hearing you say free Palestine, but also Israel has the right to exist. Don't be hypocritical. Don't be hypocritical and say free Palestine when you're also defending the right for Israel to exist. It does not have the right to exist. It does not have the right to exist. It's not your land to say it has the right to exist. Woo!
Cool for Cocoa Puffs. Mamdani just stood there and looked at the man. Welcome to being mayor of 8 million people, Mamdani, with 8 million different perspectives. On social media, folks, it bears repeating. Things cannot continue. We can't go through this for the next 3 years and 7 months with the mayor's faith being issue number one every day. We just can't do it. And so on social media, this woman has a message for those liberals, and the liberals are the worst. They have all the answers for everybody else. They know what's best. This woman has a message for the liberals on social media.
Why do liberals have a problem with Christians praying in the White House, yet they're perfectly okay with this? This is Mandami in his office, a government building, mind you, doing this. And by the way, NYC, it's almost been 25 years. In September, it will be 25 years. Did you forget? It seems like you forgot. Why is this okay? Oh, and then we got Mamdani's wife on the internet liking posts like this. A child being taken by terrorists. That's okay, though, because Mandami says she's a private citizen. She's allowed to like terrorism posts. We got Mandani out here sympathizing with literal terrorists. That's okay, though. That's okay. It's just a problem when Christians pray in the White House. It's just a problem. The Christians are the problem. It's not the ones throwing bombs at people. It's not the ones that are justifying marrying a 6-year-old. This whole thing, this is not happening. We are not allowing this to overtake our country. And you liberals, if you want to live like that, You can go try it out. Go, I dare you, because most of you identify as whatever you identify as, and you're not going to be accepted in those countries. You want to act like our country is so bad? Go live in the Middle East. That's the obvious solution, because you're not bringing it here.
Well said. You're not bringing it here. 800-848-9222. So at the end of the day, Mayor Mandami is running game. Game can represent and see game. He says, my wife is a private citizen, but she's the first lady now. So she liked those Instagram posts as a private citizen. But Mr. Mayor, doesn't it bear to ask your wife what's her position now as the public lady, the first lady of New York City now? Why don't we know what your wife's positions are today? Did you ask her opinions for today? Mr. Mayor, why haven't you denounced your wife's posts? Why haven't you? I am telling you, folks, Mayor Mandami and the First Lady, they are running a classic situation of good cop, bad cop. Mandami with the same point of view. Mandani is supposed to be the smiling good cop, the mayor. The First Lady states what the true perspective is as far as the first couple and daddy, his father, as it relates to Israel. 800-848-9222. Let's start with Danny, line 4 in Tennessee. Danny, what's on your mind?
Hey, good afternoon, sir. It's just my thoughts. I think that when we elect people for office, of course, they're supposed to represent what we want, and that's basically us being the citizens and respect the Constitution and so forth, our basic beliefs. And they take an oath to uphold that, for our basic beliefs in the Constitution and so forth, and to defend us against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and all that good stuff. And it doesn't have to be about religion. But when they are not doing that once in office, I think there should be a method to get them out of office and replace them with the next person that got the most votes.
Well, there is a method to get them out of office. There's a method to get Mandani out of office. It's just the governor of New York. She's in an election year, Kathy Hochul, and she'll never, ever do it. But there is a method. Danny, thank you for the call. Let's go to Judith, line 5 in Brooklyn. Judith, welcome to the Dominic Carter Show. What's on your mind?
Well, on my mind is, first of all, I want to thank you so much for defending me against Marco. I appreciate it very, very much. I was very, very emotional. I feel like I was very shooken up. You know what I want to say? Do you remember there was this Muslim mayor, I don't know where exactly, and he told an American Christian pastor, quote, "You are not welcome here." Now, this guy is a mayor. He's not an imam in a mosque. So here's the deal. Anyone in the political arena should keep their politics separate from their personal religion. And that goes for Mandami, who's constantly pushing down our throats, Muslim, I'm a Muslim. Who cares if you're a Muslim? Who cares? Keep it to yourself. Don't shove it down our throats. All right? You could be a Muslim. Yes, fine, but just keep it to yourself. Don't mix Muslim with politics. We're not interested. If you're a politician, keep it to yourself. And just to know, this is a Judeo-Christian country. I've got news for you, Dominic. I'm an immigrant. My parents were immigrants. When they came here with all the intentions of keeping the law of the land and not trying to change anything, not trying to push their religion against anyone else's throat. They keep it private, keep it to themselves, grateful that this country allows everyone to serve their religion with God or whatever the way they want to, okay? So this is getting to the point where this girl you just recorded, I mean, she says it all, and I think I said a lot the other day, too. It's not like I'm against Muslims. No, I'm not. But I'm against people thinking they can come in here and then change this country. You know, I'll tell you something else. I don't know why communists are allowed to be here. This is a country for capitalism. It's individual economics, not collective stuff that these Marxist communists want to push down our throat. This is not America for this kind of stuff. You want this? Find a communist country that will embrace you, Or if you want radical Islamists, whatever, and you want to like do it, yeah, with Sharia or whatever, go to like a lot of countries that will be very happy to have you back there, okay? But don't try to make this country into something that it's not supposed to be. You know, that's it.
Well, I hear you, Judith, and thank you for the telephone call. The issue is becoming, and I don't have the answer around this. But you know, in certain neighborhoods in Brooklyn and around the tri-state area, the early morning prayer with the loud noise that goes out, the calling, if you will. We've all got to coexist. That's the bottom line. But it starts with leadership at the top. Mayor Mandami, do you hear what I'm saying? Stop trying to be a politician. Stop trying to push your agenda. What exactly is your agenda, Mr. Mayor? Is it the people of the city of New York? Or is it something else? Is it something else? Let's go to Sandra, line 3 in New Jersey. Sandra, what's on your mind? Sandra, are you there? Okay, Sandra's not there.
Yes, I'm here. Do you hear me?
Yes.
Do you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
I was concerned, Dominic, when I read that story about the shootings on the beach in Daytona, Florida. I said to myself, oh, great. That's a perfect place for someone to do that because people are lying there helplessly. They're not paying attention. They can't run very fast if the shootings happen. And when I saw that picture, it was like millions of ants all of a sudden dispersed and running. So I'm concerned about copycats, and I worry about my friend Liz. I worry about my brother, who also loves the beach. So this is like a new place now, thanks to what happened, and I'm concerned about that, Dominic.
It's starting, these types of situations, Sandra, are popping up everywhere, and unfortunately, and we don't know, and the whole point behind it, we don't know when nor where, nor how many casualties or fatalities may occur. I guess it's a new way of living, and this is why I have so much faith. I do, at least, in the Trump administration. Thank you for the call, Sandra, because this president is not going to tolerate this at all. Let's go to Greg, line 1, Staten Island. Greg, what's on your mind?
Mr. Carter, real fast, I love you. Listen for your last time, first-time caller. The city is like this. It's your fault, sir.
The city's like this is my fault.
You should have ran for mayor. We need you. I'm being sarcastic, but we need you.
Well, Greg, I thank you. I thank you for the call. I made this point early this morning. Right now, I'm not interested in politics, but if I did ever decide to, I'm a winner. That's the bottom line. I'm a winner. And if I run, and I would run as a Republican, I guarantee you victory. Because the truth is, for a Republican to win an overwhelming Democrat New York, frankly speaking, you need a person of color, or you need someone that can relate to communities of color to go into these communities and to expose the Democrat Party for what it is, to urge people to get off that plantation. I've got to take a break. When we come back, more of your telephone calls. At the bottom of the hour, we'll talk to John Mancini, police officer retired, giving the perspective of law enforcement because, boy, do they have a tough job. We are coming right back.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile with a message for everyone paying big wireless way too much. Please, for the love of everything good in this world, stop. With Mint, you can get premium wireless for just $15 a month. Of course, if you enjoy overpaying, no judgments, but that's weird. Okay, one judgment. Anyway, give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
The Dominic Carter Show. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And back to the phones we go. Line 1, Larry, Staten Island, New York. What's on your mind, Larry?
How you doing, Brother Dominic? I want to comment, Dominic, on Mrs. Mandami's remarks about that bloodbath on October 7th by Hamas.
It's come out, now it's revealed the statements and comments that she made. And now her husband comes out and says, well, she's not a private person. No, she is a private person.
Right, and
no,
she didn't, wait, Larry, she didn't make comments. She retweeted people and liked tweets and so, or Instagram. But so there's, I just want to be factual. Go right ahead, Larry.
No, I'm sorry. But no, she is not a private person anymore. She's married to the mayor of the city of New York. And for him to come out and say, well, she's a private person, she's got her own opinions, doesn't cut the ice. It doesn't at all.
But I'll tell you one even more offensive, Larry. The City Hall press corps, frankly, they make me want to throw up these days. And Gabe Pressman, the dean of us all, has to be turning over in his grave. Okay, fine. She's a private citizen, Mr. Mayor. Fine. Mr. Mayor, what is your opinion of your wife's social media activity? What's your perspective as the mayor of the city of New York? Instead, they want to ask him questions like, how does it feel to be under attack? Because you're the city's first Muslim American mayor. We've had other minority mayors. A point I consistently make. Dave Dinkins didn't walk out every day saying, look at me, I'm black, I'm the city's first black mayor. He wanted to assimilate to a certain degree. So did Eric Adams. So now and thank you for the call, Larry. Now we have a Muslim American mayor, and everything every day is, oh, I'm under attack because I'm Muslim. No, you're under attack because you're holding Ramadan events in the Blue Room of City Hall, which represents all the people, Mr. Mayor, not just the people of your faith. I may regret this. Let's go to Russ in White Plains, line 3. What's on your mind, Russ?
Well, Judith said something like communists and Marxists should be put out of our country and live in some communist system, I guess because we're sick of this rotten system that capitalism brought us. And on top of this, Judith last week did something like calling my relatives who died in the Holocaust and who died fighting as members of the Red Army. She hauls them out, digs them up to justify genocide in Israel, and that's why Marco said she was crazy, and she needs some medication, man. That's
okay, but wait. But if you're a communist, Russ, I don't know what your politics are, but why would you want to live here in America if it's so bad?
Because I love this country. I've been here 7 years. I'm going to make it.
After you just spent the first minute and a half attacking the country.
I attacked Judith because Judith wants to kick people out. I love this country. I've always made it a better place. Okay. I love it and leave it. I'm not leaving it.
Okay,
Judith is the one.
Okay, well, thank you, Russ. Listen, the bottom line is, if the country is so bad, I do this politely every single time. If America is so bad, it's so bad, get out. Bye-bye. We're coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show. Entertaining and informative. On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And we are back. In a moment, we will continue, a couple of minutes actually, with your telephone calls. We're going to go to Shannon in Belmore, New York, line 5, in about 8 minutes. But I want you, because I'm very interested in what the heroes on the front line have to say. Law enforcement each and every day. So I got the opportunity in Nutley, New Jersey, to sit down with a wonderful businessman. His name is John Mancini. He runs the Oxygen Bar there and a print shop. But I wanted to talk to him, met his wife, met his daughter, wonderful people. He's retired law enforcement from the West Orange, New Jersey Police Department. And so we talked Trump. We even talked about the fact that he started the K-9 unit in West Orange, the police department in New Jersey. But what I was specifically zeroing in on is the way law enforcement is treated around the country, but in particular, the NYPD. And so John Mancini, immediately, the moment I said that, he went to the snow throwing incident against the police. And we all know that there was 2 arrests made. How many little animals were out there throwing snowballs at the police? At least 50. And you've come up with 2 arrests, and you won't charge them with assault. disorderly conduct and something, the disrupting governmental operations. But anyway, John Mancini, again, retired law enforcement, says it breaks his heart and the hearts of other law enforcement officers the way that the NYPD is being treated in this climate under Mayor Mandami.
It actually rips my gut out. If that isn't bad enough to have a mayor say it was just a snowball fight.
With kids.
With kids. A fight constitutes, it goes both ways. Can you imagine if the cops ever threw a snowball back, what would happen?
It would be live at 5, 24-hour live trucks outside the police station. It would be CCRB in New York demanding the officer's head. It would be $1 million lawsuit. It would be racism. It would go on and on and on.
So to have a mayor that, and this isn't the first time that he's taken the side of the criminal. The stabbing was another incident. So to sit there and say, it was just a snowball fight, and he saw the video, I'm not really sure what video he saw, because what I saw was a blatant attack on our officers. Right now, they're sucking the life out of the job. The cops that want to work are going to be forced not to work because your back's not going to be covered. You're going to be put in a situation, and even if you're right, you're wrong. So why would you lose your job on something like that? Nobody's going to be proactive anymore. 100%. They're just going to wait and get sent. It's not. It's the guys are just getting beaten. They're just getting beaten down, and that's the last thing you want. And the mayor just is not standing behind anybody. Look at how he's running the whole thing. New York is I don't think it's going to survive 3 years of him. I really don't think it'll survive.
President Trump has this is my opinion. I want your opinion. Has an opportunity to go down in history as the greatest president ever. How do you see the job he's doing?
Absolutely 100%. Now, can you just imagine the job he would do as if they would let him do his job? I mean, the Democrats have done nothing but fight him the whole way. How do you not stand up to say Americans first? How? All the questions he asked just proves that they're not behind it, and to them it's basically a political ploy. They're not looking to better America. Name me one thing they've come up with that's made anything any better. The only thing they do is fight Trump.
I can tell you one. They're the party of criminals. The party of illegals.
Can you imagine fighting that hard for us? Wouldn't that be nice? Isn't that what we put them in office for, to represent
to
us?
Pay their salaries for.
And now there's I forget where it is that they voted on a triple increase, 3 times the salary increase. Meanwhile, there's no cost of living raises for officers and the retirements. So how do you look at yourself in the morning with that?
John Mancini, retired law enforcement, West Orange, New Jersey. How did we get to this point where police around the country are so disrespected? And I mean, and in my day when I was growing up, you know, in my community, many of us didn't have fathers, but we had a respect of the police, and you knew there's a certain line you don't cross, because if you cross that line, Houston, we got a problem. How did we get to this point?
I really think it was when pretty much Obama was in and Biden doubled down on it, that you weren't allowed to say anything. You know, if you said anything that made common sense, you got called every name in a book. It's common sense. It's just common sense. There is no more common sense anymore. And it was a slow decay where everybody had to keep their mouth shut. And I think that just got to the point where it got abusive, and the job is not what it was. It's not what it was. You know what I mean? And it's not the officer's fault. It's not the officer's fault. They're in their trenches every day. They're caught between a rock and a hard place. You know, they're trying to do the right thing, and then they're getting beat down by the admin. So what do you want them to do? What's the answer for them to do? If you're going to tie their hands and they can't do their job, well, then you can't expect them to do their job.
Do you think we're going to continue to see the exodus of police officers leaving the NYPD, of police officers leaving large police departments across the country because of the horrible climate against officers?
Well, look at New York and look at Florida. Florida will give them a sign-on bonus, and they'll back them. why would you stay in New York? All these big cities that are sanctuary cities where you can't do anything, why would you stay there? In Florida, Texas, they're all honoring law enforcement, give you sign-on bonus, take care of you, good equipment, back you up. So, yeah, I don't see why guys would stay. You are the nicest, mildest guy one could meet. But yet you carry, your I don't know if you call it an off-duty weapon because you're retired. So, I mean, but I just don't see you losing your cool under any situation. It's funny. You have to kind of control your emotions, and the best thing to do instead of yelling and screaming is lower your voice, because that actually intimidates a little more, but it stops the screaming and the excitement of it, and you just you got to take it down a notch. Wow. So you started the K-9 unit in West Orange. Was there ever a time, I'm just curious, because those dogs, when they get worked up, they can get worked up. Was there ever, so the dog becomes your partner? Because I've seen officers, K-9 cry like a baby when their dogs are retired. Was there ever a time that you worried that the dog might bite you? No, I was never, ever, maybe accidental in the midst of something, but never was I worried about that, never. And so they would attack on your command, and they would stop on your command? Yes. So if you said stop biting, whatever term you used, I know you said use another language, but if you said stop, the dog would stop biting at that point? Yes. Yeah, he'll release. Just like that? Yep. And they would never bite any other officers. How would they know that they recognize the uniform? The biggest problem you have is not the dog doing something wrong. It's actually an officer doing something wrong. If you hear me yell a command that I'm going to release the dog, then you just stand still. You know what I mean? We also trained, we had a TAC unit. We also trained with our guys. So they knew what to expect, so it's usually the guy's fault. Like if I'm standing there with my dog, you can't come up to me, shake my hand. My dog was not that kind of dog. So you just, hey John, how you doing? Whatever. And just sit back. It's usually an officer's fault. Not to blame an officer. It's just something that's interpreted by the dog differently than what it should have been. And so what would happen if you have an undercover on location? What does the dog do? Well, it depends on what the situation is. If there's 5 cops around and then one guy's running, well, he's going to go after the guy that's running. You also have to make sure the dog is focused on the target. You know what I mean? So that's it. If somebody's in a car, and you want to extract out of a car, you bring him up close to the car, and then you release him 10, 15 feet out from there. So he knows, you have to focus the dog on the threat is what you have to do. And they go on your command, period. They're tough. They're tough. My dog was super hard. When I took him out of the car, everything stopped. The bad guys open up a can of Act Right. We had one guy was hiding in the woods, buried himself down. I bring the dog out, and he heard the dog barking, and he gave up before I even gave any commands. He said, I give up, and that was it. It stopped. A lot of times you don't need the dog there. Its presence alone is enough to intimidate and stop the problem. And that's what you're looking for, officer safety. You don't want any officers hurt. You don't want your canine hurt, but you don't want any officers hurt. When that dog comes out, you could sit there and point a gun at me, and I'm 99% convinced you're not going to shoot me. But when I have a dog snarling, spitting, and biting, you're going to have a hard time dealing with him. John Mancini, thank you very much. Thank you for all that you do for others. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Now, folks, when I tell you this man delivers for the community, he is the real deal in Nutley, New Jersey, owning the print shop there and the Oxygen Bar. Really, really good people. Now, I said in the interview, open up a can of Act Right. So just so that you understand, and Shannon, thank you for being so patient, and Belmore, I'm coming to you momentarily. When I say open up a can of Act Right, this is what I'm talking about. So you can't have the K-9 dogs right there at the protesters at Columbia University. But when they're out there protesting against Israel and they have Jewish kids scared to go to college when tuition is $100,000 a year, right? So
you have one of the dogs and the canine handler, and then you have the protesters, and oops, I'm sorry, I slipped, and the dog took off and bit 15 protesters. Now, I know there'll be multiple lawsuits, but that's what I mean by a can of Act Right. They won't show up again to more of those protests at Columbia University. Shannon, line 5, Belmore. What's on your mind, Shannon?
Hey, Dominic. I just wanted to tell you that what's happening with the Islamic community in Long Island, especially recently in Bethpage and Belmore, these people are very slick. They know how to circumvent the law with regard to zoning and variances. So what their MO now is, if they don't get what they want, immediately they start suing the towns. They already sued in Bethpage, and they use several different lawyers, and it's costing the taxpayers lots of money, millions in legal fees.
Absolutely.
And they do it, and what they do is they're not happy with the size, say the size or the parking or whatever parking spaces. They want more and more, and they claim, it's religious discrimination, which it is not. They break the rules. And right here in Belmore, they haven't gotten approvals to do certain things, and they already have gotten summonses for HVAC units. They dismantled a historic black church. I have been trying to get in touch with the Landmark Commission, and it seems like nothing's being done to stop these people. This is a historic black church that was built at the turn of the century. They've dismantled it. It's just the outside structure. They want to blow it up. They took the cross down. They removed the pews, and they haven't gotten the authority to do everything they're doing. And I spoke to town officials. They say, they've gotten summonses, and they still continue. And they're just like bulldozing their way into whatever they want.
I hear you, Shannon. Bottom line is our public officials have to stand up to this. No matter what charge you're worried about them throwing at you, you got to stand up and represent the constituents. Shannon, thank you for the call. Let's go to Susan, line 2. Great neck. Susan, what's on your mind?
This whole concept of Islamophobia is a created political tool against us. I just want to read you some facts from the FBI.
It's got to be quick.
2024, anti-Jewish incidents, 1,938. Anti-Muslim incidents, 228.
Now, Susan, wait a minute. Let me tell you why I have a problem with that. I don't know if you're reading that accurately. I don't know if you're taking that out of context, so it means absolutely nothing. You could be taking that out of context. Go ahead. I'll give you the final 15 seconds. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, I think that Islamophobia is part of a tradition of something called taqiyya, where you are allowed to present political views that are not necessarily what you believe in order to advance your cause. And I believe that Mandami is part of this tradition of saying certain things about who he is and what he's going to do and how he'll fight for equality for everybody, but he doesn't really believe it. And there's also a concept of dhimmi, of second-class citizens.
Susan, I got to take a break. Thank you for the wonderful call. You made some great points there, many of which I agree with. To be honest with you folks, we are coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show. Entertaining and informative. On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And the Tunnel to Towers Foundation final thoughts of the day. So Mandami says his wife didn't know about anti-Israel posts from the author she illustrated for. Mandami, do you think we just fell off the turnip truck? What do you think? We're New Yorkers. Do you think we're stupid? Well, you know what you did? You did get elected by playing to those that are not too intelligent, right? Mandani, first of all, when there's an illustrator and a person that hires the illustrator, there's communication between the two. So those dumb City Hall reporters would fall for that. That wouldn't last for 2 seconds with me. And what a coincidence. She just happened to work for someone. Mandani says it was a third party. She just happened to work for someone who has strong anti-Israel posts. What a coincidence. We didn't just fall off the turnip truck, Mamdani. Let's see here. Let's go to Steve, line 1, Bergen County, New Jersey. What's on your mind, Steve?
I'm a retired police officer. Just want to give a little enhanced perspective to the West Orange police officer. I'm a 26-year veteran, retired police officer, left LAPD in 1994, moved to New Jersey, where I spent my last 15 years. And one of the reasons why I left LAPD was because of the whole debacle that occurred post-Rodney King. So I would suggest that the history started around 92 when the Rodney King event happened, but specifically when the deterioration of the NYPD happened was under the last mayor, when the bucket of water by that one African-American individual was dumped over a Asian individual police officer's head. Do you recall that?
Of course I do. The city does. I couldn't do what you do, Steve, because if somebody did that to me, they're going to get hit in the face with a baton. They might get shot. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So, of course, I remember it.
Well, that's when the whole deterioration that happened under de Blasio started happening. It did not happen under Bloomberg. It definitely didn't happen under the mayor the best mayor of our country, Giuliani. Giuliani, and he who 100% supported it. But when you do not have a support by your politicians, which we did not have in Los Angeles under Rodney King, it deteriorated the entire police department. That entire police department in the city is completely broken down after that in 92. And you've seen this wave, controlled by the hippies, by the way, people that are about 10 years older than me. That would be the Chuck Schumer generation. They have deteriorated it because that's what they wanted going back to when they were smoking dope in the 60s, okay? And that's what we got. They're running the show now, Dominic.
Right, and they also control many district attorneys' offices. So it's a classic, deadly for us 1-2 punch. Steve, thank you for the call. Let's go to line 4, Frank, Staten Island. What's on your mind, Frank?
I'm responding to the crazy person who talked about Israel. It doesn't have a right to exist. Israel has every reason to exist. Israel took a desert and turned it to a garden. Israel has scientific advances. Israel has no racism amongst people at all. It's the Palestinians that have no right to exist. Palestine is a dictatorship run by Hamas that kills their own people, punishes their own people. They have suicide bombers in the second intifada. Palestine has no reason to exist.
Well, I hear you. Each side makes an argument, but just so that we're clear, I'm 1,000%, having been to Israel 4 or 5 times. I'm 1,000% with the people of Israel. I think it's disgusting the way that they have to live, worried about terrorism. It's horrible what happened October 7th. And I'm very clear on this issue. As far as I'm concerned, because of Hamas, poof, drop a bomb on the whole region as far as Palestine. I'm sorry. Folks, America's heroes need your help now. Do good in their honor by donating $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers, and you can amplify your impact with a car or land donation. Go to T2T.org. T2T.org. I'm back at midnight.
Thanks for listening to The Dominic Carter Show. You can hear The Dominic Carter Show weekdays at 3 p.m. and Monday through Thursday at midnight and Sunday starting at 11 p.m. on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?